Hello, Minder.
Hi. It's been a while.
It has. It's been a good long while.
Yeah, we took a much needed break. We both needed to chill for a little bit.
Yeah. We took a baby sabbatical, if you will.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not a forced one. It was voluntary, but
no, voluntary. Um, but we needed it. It just we needed it. It gave our brains some time to just cool off and also led to some really new, fun, exciting things and let us gave us some space to be creative again, which is nice. Um, I don't know about you, but I feel like things were starting to get maybe stale is a harsh word, but maybe monotonous.
yeah.
And I feel like we needed to switch it up a little bit.
hmm
Um,
We had like a good long talk
so
at a Dunkin'.
we did. We had a little, which we will get into. We had a little meeting, but yeah. I mean, hi. If you don't know what you're listening to, welcome to. I think I'm just going to start calling it the NDC podcast. That's what our logo says.
hmm
Um, and I think it might be funny looking at our edit. I pulled up our edit list. Some of the names that are on there, um, which we'll get into where this comes from before. Uh, but the neurodivergent convergence is the name of the show. It's the original name of the show, but that is a fucking mouthful. You know, it's a mouthful to say.
hmm
But I like the alliteration. I liked the idea. I like coming up with funky names like that, not thinking about like somebody's got to spell that all the way the fuck out when they're looking for our show. Do you know what I
hmm
mean? So like, but like, oh, we'll shorten it to the NDC podcast. So ND standing for neurodivergent because that's usually how it's abbreviated. When you see it typed out, there's NT, which is neurotypical, and ND, which is neurodivergent. And then the C obviously is for convergence. We'll get into the funny story, but you can name it whatever you want. We're gonna leave it open. I decided right now.
hmm
We're gonna start calling it the NDC podcast. You come up with what that acronym stands for. Nerdy
Okay.
distractible
Whatever you feel.
creatures?
hmm
Maybe. That works. What was my my favorite one? I don't want to say.
It's not
We'll get into
appropriate
it
for
later.
American audiences, okay?
Yeah, we'll save it for the fuckery portion at the end of the show. We'll save it. Um, but yeah, so we're the NDC podcast. I'm Nikki. That's Amanda. Say hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
We're two neurodivergent best friends traveling the neuroverse together because we are living in a neurotypical world and we are not neurotypical girls. Amanda.
Yes.
We are just giving the folks a recap today as to what's been going on since we've been gone, right?
Which I feel like has been like is like half of our episodes these days is like just catch up episodes, but you know what? It's our
Yeah.
show. We can do whatever we want.
Mm-hmm. You damn right. You damn right we can. Um, if I seem a little distracted,
It's because you
I'm
are.
a parent. It's because I am. I'm a parent. My children are currently doing I don't know what in the other room while my husband's mowing. They're grown. Don't worry. It's a lot of bumping and a lot of knocking into things. No one has screamed ow yet, so but I don't have the spoons to go interrupt whatever the hell is going on. You may see me mute the microphone, turn my head, and you won't hear me scream, but you'll see me mute the microphone and turn my head. I'll be screaming a lot probably during this episode, but you won't hear it because I have zero patience left. So just a little disclaimer before we get started.
And I'm sorry if you hear my Nikki says she can't hear it, but if you hear my air conditioning go off, it is like 90 degrees here and it's supposed to stay in the 90s
Yeah,
for, over the next week. So and I'm gonna make full use of my air conditioner, so I'm not turning it off, sorry.
yeah, it's disrespectful outside.
hmm
So
It's a hate crime,
uh,
honestly. This
it really
weather.
is. It's a crime against humanity. Um, Also,
It goes against the Geneva Convention.
it should if it doesn't. Also, since I feel like my life is falling apart at the fucking seams, and usually when that happens, I tend to fall back on the things that ground me, and I like candles a lot. we've talked about this before in the past, I'm a little bit witchy. So, I grabbed every yellow birthday candle I had and shoved it in our candle holder. We're gonna make this positive if it takes every last drop of energy I have. We need some positivity in this episode today. I'm gonna push positivity out of every pore in my body into these candles and then light them ablaze and send it out into the universe because it's been a life in the last like few months. I've lived an entire lifetime in the last few months and I am just done. I'm done with the negative stuff. I'm done with the bad news. I'm done with the bullshit and we're going to push this off for just even if it's just for this hour-ish that we're talking. We're going to light this bitch up and we're going to make it positive. And I don't care if you believe in this shit or not, because I do, and it makes me happy. If you don't believe in it, you believe in whatever the hell you want to believe. I don't tell you what to do with your life. Don't tell me what to do with mine. So anyway, I just wanted to show you. Patreon people can see my candle, my melted candle. Not sponsored, but from Fifth Coven. I melted it down so badly and used it so much that the wick is gone, but there is some like a little bit of wax left in there, and she uses like the best creamy wax. So I just use it to stick my birthday candles in and hold them when I do the show. Because I light a little candle before every show. So Fifth Coven candle, I'll drop them in the show notes if you're looking for some really fucking cool candles. If you're a little bit witchy, or even if you're not, they smell amazing, and she makes the coolest like crystal candles.
Yeah,
I
bought Nikki some for her birthday, for for Christmas, per her request last year.
This was one of them. Yeah.
So they're really pretty. I'm not much of a candle person. Like I probably have bought like 3 candles my entire life. So I'm not much of a candle person. Like if I'm wanting to feel a certain vibe, I'll go get a candle and light it. Like it's like, oh, it's autumn. I want an autumn themed candle. But there's some sense that's like, I'm not really against a lot of certain scents, but it's more like I attribute certain scents to things because smell, like the olfactory sensors are like actually like the biggest things of like basically bring up the strongest memories. Like
for sure.
I think like even before sight or sound, like I think science says like smell is the biggest trigger for like memories and stuff. And so like this is really weird, but like just side tangent, like cinnamon apple or apple cinnamon or whatever, like cinnamon flavored like scented stuff, I just attribute that to bathrooms because that was like the apple cinnamon spray was the spray my mom always had in our bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, so I always attribute to bathrooms. So I'm like, I will never get like apple cinnamon scented anything because it's like, I just attribute it to bathrooms. Like, I don't mind cinnamon flavored stuff, but it's just the smell. I'm just like, no, that smells like a bathroom.
So, yeah. But yeah, not sponsored, but go check out Fifth Coven Candle. I'll drop the link in the show notes if you want to go check it out. Amber is the coolest. And I love her.
She sends little notes. She sends little personal notes.
She's a woman-owned small business, does everything by herself, has no team. These are the most beautiful candles you have ever seen. So go check her out. I'm going to light these up and we can kind of get to it. Do you want to kick it off or do you want me to kick it off or what do you want to do?
I think I'll start only because basically once you get into your stuff, my stuff will just sound like whining. So, so really. I just rather not follow up with like, oh, it's like, oh, well, I don't like my work situation. Like after you say, well, this is all my health problems I've been going through. And it's like,
right.
Well, Amanda, that's just first world problems for you. You sound like a little bitch. And so
you want to start with the show stuff first before we do personal catch up?
Sure.
Like quick touch on the, on what's kind of changing with the show, which is not a lot. So that's why I'm thinking if we could just do it real quick in the beginning and then you can start with your personal.
Basically a sum up of what we discussed at Duncan.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just looking at the edit. I'm like, we should probably talk about that first.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we don't know what the fuck we ever do over here. So there's that. You just have to
we're recording this like the day before it's supposed to, like the episode's supposed to go off, and like I messaged Nikki like like an hour ago or so, an hour or two ago, and I was like, "Do you just want because we did have a topic we were going to discuss, but it might be a topic that might be like a two-parter because it's a lot, but it's also like, because I knew she didn't have much time to edit, but it's also like I was like, let's just do a catch-up episode. We can record our episode next time."
Yeah, to be fair, we did have a better time set to record, but I was in the hospital. So,
Yeah.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
And then she didn't tell me
So
that
we're
she went
not
to the hospital. I messaged her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I left like at 1:30 this morning." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Listen, I was so done with life by the time I got home. I thought I had messaged you back, honestly, and then by the time you were like, excuse? And I was like, "Oh, shit." I never messaged her back. Anyway, what's going on with the show? Basically, if you've been listening for a long time, you'll know what all this means already. But for those who have not been listening for a long time, the way we usually do things is we start our shows with a little bit of fun. There's the juicy middle content area, which is where we talk about our topic for the week. And then there's the fuckery portion at the end, which contains our thought being, which was created by, originally created by AI and then taken over and started to be written by me and edited by Amanda. It's called The Chronicles of Jeremy. He is a psychic cat. He has lots of friends. You'll be able to hear him in every episode prior to this. Yeah, whole fellowship. Our Patreon membership tiers are based off of it. So there's an entire backlog of episodes.
Our logo has
our logo based off of it. Yep. So it's just a inside joke, not really insider knowledge.
It's lore
of the show.
Basically lore.
It's lore. Yeah, it's show lore at this point. So it's not got shit to do with being neurodivergent, although we have figured out Jeremy very much so is neurodivergent. But it's just fun. It's just show lore, a fun thing that sort of happened. Go listen to all the backlog episodes. If you want to join our Patreon, the the loyal tier, you can get all the backlog episodes of Jeremy put all together nicely in a little ebook. You can follow along. So go check that out if you're interested. But otherwise, it's for free. Just go listen to all the other shows. So fun, content, fuckery. That was the original structure of the show. Here's the deal. We'll get into this later with my personal stuff, but I'm a chronically ill person and I'm neurodivergent. Amanda is neurodivergent and works full time and also likes to just be a person sometimes and have her own life, do her own things. She has her own wants and needs and, whatever. And it was getting to be where almost everything we were doing, because we were doing a lot, trying to do a lot at once, was like show related, right? And it was like, oh, we got to do this, we got to talk about that, we got to get this done and this done. And it's like we were sort of operating as if we had thousands and thousands of like Patreon members and like all these people that are waiting on us to get the stuff out. And while we have a very good listener base for the show, because as two relative nobodies, the listener base we have is basically fucking insane. Like, it's really good and we love everyone and cherish every last one of you that listens. But we're not under contract with any sponsorships. We're not under contract with a podcast like studio or anything. Like,
partnerships or anything. Like,
no partnerships. We can do what we want, right? So there's no reason to have put, well, it's my fault. There's no reason that I should have put so much out at once and thought that we could handle it all right away when there's not necessarily the demand for it anyway. Okay. I was under the thought process of, if you build it, they'll come, instead of wait for them to come and then you can build it right over around what they want, around what they're asking for. So we're waiting. We're gonna back that up, and we're gonna try to make shit a little simpler so that we can make our lives a little simpler. Back it up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Yeah, so we're gonna put it in reverse, Terry, and not get blown up by fireworks. And I'll have to put it in reverse, Terry, in the show notes too. Can you, in the private chat thing, can you put those notes in there so that I don't forget? Because I'm gonna forget this shit. So I need to add Fifth Coven and add put it in reverse, Terry. as a link in there, in the show notes. Please and thank you, lady. She's good about that shit. I won't remember. We'll hit end and then they won't ever make it there. So structure, long story short, structure is going to change a little bit. We are moving Jeremy, our Chronicles of Jeremy, the fuckery portion. Chronicles of Jeremy is going to become Patreon only content. And he is also, him and his friends are also only going to show up on Patreon once a month. Because I am writing this myself. This is all coming from the squishy thing between these 2 ears. Which, again, we'll get into why it's becoming harder for me to write this in my personal stuff. But the squishy thing not always be working, okay? So it's difficult for me to get this content out weekly. So we're going to change it to monthly, and he's going to Patreon exclusive. All previous episodes of Jeremy will be still where they are. You can still find them for free. You can still find them, the compilations and stuff on our Patreon. Nothing changes about previous content. Nothing. All future content after this episode that is related to Jeremy will be on Patreon. Okay. Available on all tiers. So from the $3 to the $10, you can get the Jeremy episodes. They're going to be on every single one available for you. Next, we are keeping the Mad Lib for now, but Mad Lib is moving to the fuckery portion. So we're essentially nixing the fun portion altogether. At this point.
It's basically like a pizza. It's like all the contents and stuff, like the topic and everything is on the top, and then like we're gonna have the fun and fuckery as the crust on the bottom.
Right. So the fun and fuckery, are essentially going to get like put together. They're going to be at the back end of the episode now. So you guys can come for the content, and then if you get through the content and want to stick around for some fun and shit on the back end, great. So we'll put the Mad Lib over there, and then when the Mad Lib's done, I think we decided we're going to sort of talk about possibly reevaluating whether or not we're going to continue with Mad Libs. If we get a ton of backlash, it's like, don't you fucking dare take the Mad Libs out of the show, we will do another Mad Lib. But I have to hear from you first. I know more than Ray and Micah listen to this show, so y'all got to weigh in. Quit leaving us on Ray and Micah's plate. You have to weigh in and give a girl some fucking help here. Because Ray and Micah can't carry this whole show for y'all. Y'all have to chime in. Do you guys want more Mad Libs after this book, or are you done and want to go to something else?
Yeah, basically my thought process was if people didn't want it, we can at least put it at the end, like for now until we like finish it. Put it at the end. That way, like when they start listening to the show, they're like, oh, this fucking Mad Lib, and like have to stop listening or have to fast forward. That way, if they don't want the Mad Lib, they can just stop after we're done talking, like about a topic, or if they like the Mad Lib, they can just listen to the topic and listen to get to the Mad Lib. That way, it works for both sides.
Now, I can't promise that there's never going to be a bullshit section at the front of the show. Like, we're probably going to bullshit with each other.
Oh, we're still going to bullshit because we got to talk on tangents. We gotta get this. I get squirrely. Something caught.
We got quite the inferno going on over here.
Too many
Give
candles.
me a moment. Hold on.
Okay.
You can keep talking. Yeah. I'm going to stop my cam for.
Yeah, I read
cam for a minute.
I read your lips.
Stop my cam and fix this.
Okay. So yeah, basically, I just moved to a new computer, so I don't have the our discussion document pulled up, the one we talked over. So Nikki had come down for her sister's, her niece's birthday, and so we went out and just had a discussion. So, like she said, we're gonna move to Jeremy like once a month. Mad Libs are gonna go to the end. Because that way if people don't want to listen to it, they don't have to. And that way they don't feel obligated to listen to it. And so, like she said, we just need you guys' input about what you want to see for the Mad Lib. I personally enjoy doing them. I think they're funny. But I know some stuff can run out of steam, and if you do it too long. So I'm not good at improvising, as you can tell. So this is my stream of consciousness. But basically, this break was needed overall, in my opinion. As soon as she started the intro music, I remembered, oh yeah, I have to finish the YouTube gameplay edits because I didn't work on that at all in the past 3 weeks. So I gotta get back to doing that. The problem is that like I still have my laptop that I was using to record on, but I'm also trying to move stuff over to my new computer. I'm waiting to get a new chair because this chair is probably the cheapest office chair you can buy, and it's not very comfortable. So I can't really sit at this computer for very long at a time and so I would probably still be using my laptop to do that. But that's all I got in terms of my thoughts for that. Because I don't want to get too into the personal stuff until Nikki comes back, and after we're done, I'm not sure what else you wanted to talk about in terms of the show. So this might be a time where you have to edit this out. Who knows?
I'm so sorry.
I'm like stream of consciousness. I don't know what's going on.
I heard you.
I know.
I can still hear you. It's like I'm trying to figure this out. I have luckily I have a.
Well, you did light a bunch of candles in a very small square footage of space.
Yeah, but what I wasn't really
smoke
counting on was it hit that base of the cream wax and just went and like created like
one big flame
that was like this far above, like tickling my paper calendar, and I was like, oh hell no, we're not gonna set this bitch on fire today. So I went ahead and grabbed, I have a little baby cauldron and it's got a cast iron, like real cast iron, and I grabbed a lid from that and it was perfect size, and I went and got the tongs, my metal tongs, and I was holding it by the metal tongs and I just slid it over top. It's like, goodbye flame. no more burn house down now.
Science bitch.
So we're smothering at the current moment. I will not be lifting that lid for quite some time.
Yeah, we're smoldering and smothering.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wasn't trying to have a fucking house fire today, so there's that. Anyway, we were talking about podcast shit. Yeah.
What is our life?
I don't know. Do you want me to cut that bit out where you were just like
I mean, you can cut out whatever you want.
Okay. We don't have to. I mean, fuck it. It is what it is. This is real shit. I had to put out an Inferno and you had to figure out how to stream of consciousness your way and carry the fucking show.
If I had something to talk about, it's like I could talk about something forever, but it's like all I have to talk about is the Mad Lib. That's all I gotta talk about.
And all I did was say, figure it out. I gotta put fire.
I'm not gonna improv, okay?
Yeah. It's okay. We know this about you. But anyway, structure's changing. This is what we got to do if we want to keep running this show. Okay, so that's what it is. Jeremy going to Patreon. The other thing I wanted to quickly touch on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, basically, we just were trying to fill our plate for too much.
Oh yeah, that's my fault. I'm good at that.
Well, it's I had to like kind of like rein her in a little bit. I'm just like, Nikki, okay, you're doing, especially because like since you had to quit your job and everything, it's like, I know you have all this free time now to think about all this stuff, but it's just way too much right now. Like, we don't need to be doing, these are all great ideas, write them down, but right now I can't keep, like, neither of us can keep either mentally or physically keep doing going at 110%. It's like, let's do like 80%.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just that type of person that I'll get in and get like into it and think, oh my God, I can do all these things. And then I'll get into it for a couple months and I'm like, I can't do any of it anymore. It's too much. So it's like, I don't know. I'm always thinking about the next thing instead of just figuring out how to continue doing what I'm doing really well. And it's something I'm working on. So I think this is just a learning experience for me. It's like, it'll get there eventually, and I just need to let it go for now. And just let it be what it is, which is another thing I'm about to talk about. Merch. We're done. We're done for now. We will wait until we have a demand for that. When we do have a demand for that, we will be choosing a different provider.
Because we had a test run, it didn't go too well. Like,
yeah, we had a test run. We were not pleased. And we are just gonna pause for now. Again,
and test run meaning like
show up first.
And test run meaning like the provider we're using didn't like the people that got the merch were okay with it, but we personally were not okay with the quality of it. So it wasn't more of a no, people were buying our merch, they're just not doing the merch. It's more like we don't have it's partly that, but it's also like we don't have a full like control over the quality of what was being produced. So,
and the provider that we did find, when we are ready to do this, we would have more of a say so. We would have quality control aspects where we have the ability to order samples at a much discounted rate, be able to check that, make sure it's what we want before we then put it out for everybody to buy. So, but again, we're tabling that for now until the demand is there. So we're going to wait. Do we have any other changes?
I'm not looking at the document, so I don't know.
I know. There's other things, but I don't really feel like it's necessary to like
vocalize
not
that.
Like stuff people have to know. It's more of like a you and I like behind the scenes thing, just like getting our own shit together. But the main things that I feel like people needed to know, we've pretty well already said. Let me just double check real quick before I'm like, we're done, and then I'm like, just kidding. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for that. The rest of it is either stuff that we're not announcing yet or housekeeping shit, back end kinds of things. So, all right. Lady.
Yeah.
What the fuck's been going on for the last 2 weeks? Did you get a chill?
I was just shrugging.
Okay. It looked like for a second, because I was like half looking at you, half looking at something else. It looked like you had like a chill where you just like freaked out for a second. That's funny. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go for it.
Well, since we last recorded, I think I talked about right before was we were moving offices. So we fully did that. Well, say fully, like the people who have moved to the offices have been moved, but everything else has been, they're like slowly trying to get everything to work and everything. I do not like the place itself is fine. The place we moved to is fine. I don't like the setup of my personal space because I went from an office that I had by myself, that I could turn the lights off, I could close the door, close the blinds, do whatever, to now I'm in a cubicle in the middle of a bright ass white room where I feel like I'm in a hospital. And like I've joked to multiple of them, but it's more of a no, this is a serious suggestion. I'm just covering it in the form of a joke so you don't think I am criticizing this operation. But they could save so much money. One, they keep it way too cold. Nikki would be very happy in this place because it is for penguins, and I am not. I am a lizard, okay? And but basically the lights have, obviously it's an office building. It's a big giant call center building is what it is. It's like a big giant, like has I think 300 cubicles. We don't need 300 cubicles. We need like 40, 30, 40. That's it. So we're using like a tenth of the cubicles. But we're using like half of the space because they are like all the offices on our half are full of all the different like higher ups and like head of departments and stuff. But we are only using like half of the office space, but like a tenth of the cubicles. Like my department or my area is like, I want to say like 15. It's I think it's 12 cubicles because it's 4 rows of 16 cubicles maybe. I think 4 by 4. So 4 cubicles to 4 rows. Like 4 cubicles in 4 rows. So let's say 12 to 16 because I can't remember. But and there's only 4 of them being used, and one of those 4 is part-time. Like, this lady only works like, a few hours, like about 20 hours or less a week, or because mainly if she's working, she's usually at other branches or doing community events because she's like the community event organizer. So she's probably there like once a week for a few hours. That's not to say she's not working the rest of the time, but she's at the office a few hours once or twice a week. So really 3 of like the 16 cubicles in my area are being used, and then like the 3 offices that are attached to this department, like to this area, are being used. So they have all the lights on our half of the building. They're all the lights on. Of course, they're big giant fluorescent lights, and I'm like, you could turn off half these lights and it'd still be bright enough in here to see perfectly fine. Like, you could do surgery in this room with how fucking bright it is. And there's no, like, at least in my area, there's no windows, so it's not like they can like dim them down and like, oh, we'll just have the light because we're only open till 5, so even during winter it'd be mostly bright enough during the day to have the lights off. But my department doesn't have windows, so like the building is attached to a mall, so most of the sides of the building don't have windows because it's attached to a giant building. But in my cube, like I said, it's cold. They have been currently keeping it between 10 and 12 degrees colder than I keep my house.
Oof.
And it is, I'm like, and I joked to one of them, I was like, this isn't my electric bill, but the fact that we moved in, like, the week it turns 90 to 95 degrees, because it's the beginning of summer, and so it is now it's been 90 degrees. It was 90 degrees today. It's supposed to be like 94 tomorrow and the rest of the week and everything. So, and now you guys want to keep it in the mid to low 60s. Okay, it's your electric bill, not mine. My paycheck doesn't go towards it, but
you know why they're doing that, right?
Why? People awake or
because
something?
there's so many computers in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the cooler the room, the less issues you'll have with the computers and shit overheating because they're always on. They're always being used.
I know that's why they did it for, like, because in the my old office building, basically we moved 3, like, the back offices of 2 branches. So, like, back offices of, like, a financial institution, like bookkeeping, lending, all that stuff. Plus my building, which was like where we had the server and everything. In the server room, they kept cold, which makes sense. But the rest of the office, no. The other offices, no. We're not allowed
Maybe they can't isolate it this time, though. That was my thought. Like, maybe they can't isolate the server room to have its own.
They do,
like, cooling.
They have it because even like other like a lot of the offices have their own temperature thing.
Well, then that's stupid.
I know, because like I went to.
And they're just being dumb.
I know, because I'm like, like, they say they're gonna have someone come in and like fix it, like, not fix it, but like set it to where it's. I think they probably also cool because we had the doors opening so much. Like, they had it cool because like they had like, and I was like, I am more in a secluded area, but like I said, there's only like 4 people, 3.5 in my department of cubicles, and there's like, I don't really see the other departments. Like, I just have to walk down. There's down this hallway to the right is like call center, lending, mortgage, all them. And then down this hallway in front of me, which I don't see like that, like the hallway's like off to the side, like that is like finance. So I'm isolated in that sense, but my cubicle is at the front of this set of cubicles, right where this entrance is. So far, people apparently think I must be a receptionist of some kind. And granted, I understand, like, I'm the first desk they see, so they're going to come and ask me questions. But, like, I don't think people understand. Like, when you're giving a tour or you're showing some people around, you do not have to stop at my desk and introduce me or introduce, like, especially because I don't know who these people are, like, and I'm never going to see them again. You don't have to, like I'm some zoo. I feel like a zoo animal sometimes. It's like, and this is where this department sits, and that's who that is. And so it's like, every time someone walks by, they have to say hi to me, and I'm like, morning, hello, yes, I'm in the front, and everyone has to say hi to me every time they pass, and they have to walk right in front of my desk to do it, because God forbid you use the other side of the walkway. But
It sounds like they could have just built more fucking offices and saved a lot of money on buying cubicles.
The cubicles were there. This was a fully built building.
Oh.
This is actually this. I don't know what it was before, but like Aetna Healthcare was supposed to have a call center there. I don't think they ever moved in. Like they were supposed to, but I'm not sure what happened. They probably outsourced to India or something. But that's why it was so big. Like we didn't build this place. It was there. Like all this stuff that's in there, we put there. Or they put there. Like we brought our computers and stuff, but all the
So they could
infrastructure
take
was
down
there.
some of those cubicles and add some fucking offices.
Yeah. And so
it's not like that would put them back much.
Right. And I found out, I'm not going to say, but I found out how much the building costs. I'm like, we're paying this much for this building and it costs. And we're only using.
Well, if you're in the mall, you're paying an arm and a fucking leg for it.
Yeah. But it's not like that. But yeah, because, and just, so I'm at the front of this set of cubicles. I will say, because I was worried about noise, because I was close to the call center and all that. I can't really hear anybody except I'm right next to this break area. There's multiple break areas around. And in this break area, there's like the scanner and copier for like this side of the building. And I immediately, after like a couple of days of people fumbling around, because it's a new scanner copier, fumbling around, messing with the buttons for 5 minutes at a time, I went in and I muted the fucking sound things on this copier. I'm like, I am tired of beep, 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 beep. So I'm like, I went in, immediately found the settings, and I'm like, I am muting all these motherfucking sounds because I am tired of this, listening to this over and over again. And just like constantly hearing people in the break area and everything. And like, I'm getting so much less work done right now because I'm just so distracted. Like I had on Monday, I had alerts that are monthly alerts, and I didn't even realize it until like 3:30 that day. It's not like I have like that much of a deadline to get them done. Like I just do them as soon as I get them. And so I started them at like 3:30 or 4 on Monday. I had like 10 left Tuesday. And I'm like, I just don't. And I told one of my coworkers who also has ADHD, I'm like, I just don't feel like I'm getting any work done. Like I can't get any work done because people are constantly walking in front of me. Like all the higher ups constantly meet each other in each other's offices. So I'm constantly having people walk in front of me, and it's very distracting. And like the lights, like I'm constantly taking ibuprofen because the lights are so bright and it's so obnoxious, and I'm cold, and we're not allowed to have space heaters. So I have this giant ass fluffy heating pad that I use, and so that's. Then I don't have my printer, so every time I want to print something, I got to get up and go to the printer, like in the break area, to get the thing that I printed, because IT almost didn't want to get my printer. I went and got my printer, strained a couple muscles doing that because that thing's fucking heavy. So, and I still need to get them to hook it up, and they haven't. So I'm just annoyed. That's why I didn't want to go second when talking about our life. It's like my stuff's all first world problem shit, but it's my first world problem shit. So that's why
it is your first world problem shit. That's a lot. That's a place you have to go every fucking day so that you can survive and keep your house and shit. And it's now chaos when it used to not be. So
yeah, because I told my coworker, like the one that probably understands me the most there. I said, I feel like I can't get anything done because I'm constantly distracted. I'm constantly having people walk in front of me and wanting to have a conversation with me. And I'm used to being in my office with the blinds closed or the door partly closed or whatever. Like I would leave it open so if people wanted to come in, it's not like I was completely closed off from everybody. But it's also like, I haven't found a routine yet. I told her, I'm like, I've gained like 3 pounds since we moved in last week because I'm hungry because I haven't been making my protein drinks because I make them with coffee, and so I have to use my own like Keurig, which I have to keep in my desk because I can't keep it in the break area because I asked to keep it in the break area, and they're like, well, if you're going to keep it here, just be prepared for other people to use it. Well, will they use it if I put a sign? Maybe. Are you telling me these fucking adults don't know how to fucking read? Okay, I guess I'll just keep it at my desk. And even at my desk, like I'm not in a routine enough to like make my coffee, like my coffee for my protein drink like I normally did. So I'm hungry, but then I'm also gaining weight because I'm out of routine, and I can't, and because it's so hot, I can't go walking on my lunch break. And then when I go walking around the mall, I witness an old man peeing, and I see everything. And so that was a nightmare. And so it's like I'm walking around the mall because this was the mall I not really grew up in, because this was like the mall that's like, oh, I finally got my driver's license. This is the mall I can go to. This is like the better mall. But because it's a mall and it's 2024 and not the 80s or 90s, there's like
It's
it's
depressing.
depressing. There's like 5 businesses in it, and they're all like, there's no customers or anything. There's other people walking around doing, like, I was like, I feel like an old person. I'm doing the old person who walk around the mall. Like, we have a science center, we have like 2 like Maurice's, there's a movie theater, but there's hardly anyone that goes in there and everything, and it's
That used to
depressing.
be the theater. No one wanted to go to the other one.
I know. And so that the other theater, that one closed down because they revamped the other theater. So now everyone goes to the other theater because it's all has like the recliner seats and all that. It has the bar, which no one uses, but whatever. But now this is like another company bought out this theater after this one was closed. And this is a theater I worked in for like 2.5 years in college. And so I had a lot of memories there. But they closed down for a few years until another company built it. VIP, I think is what it's called, VIP Cinemas. And there's hardly anyone there, and I feel so bad for them. I'm like, how are you guys even making money? Because I don't ever see anyone at this theater. And so It's just so depressing, because I used to, like I said, I worked at this mall, and so we used to go down to Gloria Jeans whenever we wanted Gloria Jeans. We used to go down and hang out. Like, you used to work in that mall too. And so it's just, and so seeing all these empty stores, like I've told Nikki, like, I feel bad when other people like that I think are worthy of it, like when they don't succeed. So I don't like watching things, or like when good people get stepped on, or good people get like, when good people don't get what they want or deserve or something. So that really like the whole little guy, like, so I feel bad when small businesses fail, like, even if because like they fail because it was just a bad business sense or bills or whatever. It's whatever.
Or it costs so much to run a mall that they can't afford the rent in the mall anymore. And like, I don't know.
So to me,
it's
like,
also like, we're big nostalgia people, so it's difficult because that was nostalgic for us, and now it's like dying, and it's like you have to watch your childhood die. It sucks.
And so and I like walking outside. Like, I will say, of all the times I've walked outside and how many homeless people I've passed, I have not once seen their private parts in the middle of peeing. And it's like, at least if they're peeing, they're probably doing it on a bush. So it's like, whatever, not in the middle of the hallway at the mall. So it's already several points against this place. So it's just overall, like, and it has like a gym, but like it's like 4 treadmills, and I've used 2 of them, and they like half work. Like, it works, but like the screen doesn't work and everything else. So it's like, I go walking, and people are like, why don't you just go walking in the gym? Because the treadmill is facing a big brown wall. There's nothing to look at. And so I'm constantly looking at the time, which makes it seem so much longer than what's happening. So I don't like walking on treadmills. And so it's like, I like walking outside. Like, I walked outside yesterday. It just got to like 80, 82, which is a little too warm for me to go walking. Like, my shirt in the back was soaked through, but I'm like, I'd rather do that than walk through the mall or walk on the treadmill. So it's just been a lot of changes, and it's like, I have to get used to it, but so far I am not impressed with our move. And
0 out of 10 would not recommend.
So I don't do, basically, if you are an ADHD or an autistic person, like, maybe you thrive in this sort of environment, but I'm pretty sure the majority of neurodivergent people would not thrive in like a call center or cubicle environment. So anyone that works in that sort of place, I feel for you. Like, I worked in the call center before I had this position, before I got my office, and we had like cubicles, but they were like, the walls were tall. They were actual walls, like thick walls. Like, the walls almost went up to the ceiling. They were taller than me. Like, they were probably like 8-foot walls. So it's not like you saw everyone all the time. Like, the cubicles now Like I just have to like lean up and I can look over it. Like it goes up to like my nose, really.
No,
And
ma'am.
so I don't
No
like,
me
and so
gusta.
I'm debating if I should ask, like, can I move back a cubicle? Because I thought about that before I moved. Like when she like my boss was showing me around, I was like, I'm gonna be at the front of this where everyone's gonna be walking, and I was assured that most people aren't gonna use this entrance because they'd be at these other two entrances, and they are using those entrances, but that doesn't negate the fact that they are constantly visiting each other in their offices, meaning they're constantly walking in front of me. So it's just very annoying.
Yeah, I think it's time for a chat with the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, listen, I'm trying really hard, but I feel like I'm getting no work done. I'm so distracted.
I can't
I
focus at
cannot
all.
focus. Like, is there anything we can do to figure out how to get me away from this particular spot, even just slightly, so that I'm not constantly being interrupted by everybody else? Because otherwise, like, I'm never gonna finish anything. Like, this is just too much. It's too overwhelming.
Right. So that's my gripe. That's basically it's everything that's happened since we last recorded.
We're gonna break down the fourth wall. We have to split this in 2 episodes because we bitch too much. So sorry. But
and we kind of thought of it like after about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes of recording, we're like, we should probably split this up, and so we had to record. That's why the lighting's going to change drastically between us talking, between us talking in the first half, and then we don't know where we're going to split it, but and this outro. So it's gonna go from daytime to nighttime because it's now currently almost really 9 o'clock. Yes.
So we just wanted to come and properly outro wherever we split this at, so you're not like, the fuck? Why is this over so abruptly? We will see you next week. All of the things are in the show notes that I mentioned. I'll put them in both show notes for both episodes. We have the fun and fuckery portion for you now. Are you ready?
Are you ready for this? But no Jeremy right now. Like we said.
Yeah, no Jeremy. Unless you're on Patreon. And then I got to figure out when Jeremy's coming back. So I got to do some math and figure out when there'll be a Jeremy drop. It most likely won't be, definitely not the next 2 weeks.
Because we didn't plan one. We're, like I said, we're recording these part 1 and part 2 at the same time.
Yeah, because we didn't intend for it to be 2 parts. Yeah, so look for Jeremy in July. We'll just say that. Look for Jeremy in July. Jeremy will make his return in July.
It's like Hallmark's Christmas in July. It's our Jeremy in July. Yeah,
Christmas in July. It'll be Jeremy in July. So I like that. Gets this little Jeremy in July. All right, lady. That's enough bitching and complaining and yapping. Let's do some fun. Okay. Some weird, abrupt, split it in a weird spot in the middle of the fucking episode, and then like, hi, it's nighttime. Let's do a Mad Lib. Because we're awkward and don't know how to podcast. Fun. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right. I need from you, ma'am, an adjective, please.
Effervescent. Effervescent. I keep saying effervescent, but it's effervescent. EFFERVESCENT. I think it means like lively, enthusiastic. Like she's very effervescent.
Plural noun.
Stripper heels.
Okay.
I also thought about Kinky Boots. That's like a musical, I think. But
I think so too. I am not a musical person. Not that I dislike them. I just never really got like into them.
Yeah, same. Like I'll watch them. It's not the first thing I pick when I watch stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I would totally go if I was like invited to a live one, but I don't seek them out. Verb.
Shoot my shot.
Okay. I keep fucking hitting my mic. Noun.
Paratrooper.
Okay. I think yours is going to be good yet again, per usual. Verb ending in ing. Do we already know what it is?
Yes. Fucking.
Okay.
I had like 4 ing verbs in this one, but
Okay. It's our favorite one, man.
Yeah. Also, like, these are gonna sound like I've said before, I don't go in any sort of order when I make these up. Like, I kind of just skip around as I'm like thinking of random things. So there are a little bit of themes like some points, but
okay. A person in room, male. Of which
Larry the
there are none.
Cucumber. Larry the Cucumber.
Oh my god.
And yes, I put fucking and Larry the Cucumber together. You're welcome. Rule 34 of the internet.
Veggie Tales.
I
Burned into our fucking brain from Samara.
I was a church kid in the 90s, okay?
Yeah. Verb.
Harden.
Harden?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I heard you right. Not harder, Jesus. Okay, same person, and okay, so Larry the Cucumber.
I almost put Cucumber Larry, but I'm like, that's not his name, is it?
That's not his name. Part of the body, plural.
Gallstones.
Ew.
I've had those.
Ouch.
They're not fun.
Yuck. Ouch. Verb.
Encapsulate.
Oh, I hate that. Nope. I'm vetoing that because it doesn't work. No, hang on. No, it's fine. Just kidding. I misunderstood. It's fine.
Okay, because I'm like, I can think of another verb.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Never mind. Noun.
I mean, it's Mad Lib. It's not really supposed to make sense.
No, I thought we were going in a different direction. It's fine.
Okay. Noun, hydrodynamic spatula. It's a SpongeBob. I was gonna put hydrodynamic spatula with port and starboard attachments, but I stuck with the hydrodynamic spatula from SpongeBob. The very first SpongeBob episode, I think. Spatula, port and starboard attachments. Once again, kid of the 90s.
Okay. Part of the body, plural.
Buttocks.
This is gonna be great. Okay. Adjective.
Vicious.
Verb ending in ing.
Crab walking, like The Exorcist.
Okay, sure. You have no idea how well this works. Okay. Noun.
The last 3 are kind of a theme, and you'll see why. Black Lagoon.
Okay. Plural noun.
Dragoons. Like dragon with another O in it. Dragoons.
And noun.
Crab rangoon. I didn't mean to put 2 things with crab in them so close together, but like I said, I don't go in any sort of order when I make these words up.
I have some of those in my fridge right now. Verb ending in ing.
Meowing.
Oh my god. Okay, and then another verb.
Noodle.
Noodle.
Use your fucking noodle.
Use your noodle.
Noodle. Do the noodle dance.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This one's called Dear Diary. And we are still in our adult Mad Lib, My Bleeping Family. Okay. Read an entry from your teenage diary about the time that Dad chaperoned the effervescent school dance and became the center of attention with his smooth stripper heels.
Oh.
Dear Diary, so I need to shoot my shot out of school and go into a paratrooper protection program after what happened last night. There I was, slow fucking with Larry the Cucumber to I will always harden you.
fucking a cucumber and harden all together. Okay. Turning that cucumber into a pickle, are we?
Ow!
What you...
Water boy mom headache. Ow! The brain pain, coach. It's the brain pain.
What'd you do?
Oh, God damn it, Amanda. That laugh gave me the brain pain. God damn it. Oh, okay. Let me read it again. You ready?
Yeah.
Just in case everybody didn't hear over my stupid yelling, screaming laughter, there I was, slow fucking with Larry the cucumber to I will always harden you. I didn't even care that Dad was there because I finally had Larry the cucumber's gallstones wrapped around me. Ugh,
Don't like that.
gross. Heaven. Then Brittany's encapsulate me hydrodynamic spatula one more time came on. And Dad literally went nuts. He put his buttocks in the air and busted out his vicious school moves. The crab walking man, the black lagoon patch, and the sprinkler. A circle of dragoons formed around him, chanting, "You go, old crab rangoon!" I wanted to kill him. The saddest part, he thought people were laughing with him, but they were meowing at him. I'm like, never going to noodle this down, ever. Amanda! What have you done?
Apparently gave you the brain pain.
Larry the cucumber.
Mm.
God damn.
It's like I said,
the Christians have nothing.
Rule 34 of the internet. I think Fundy Fridays, I don't know if she did an episode of VeggieTales, but she at least mentioned them in one of her episodes, like talked about the guy that made it. So.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. I'm watching her most recent episode, and
I haven't watched it yet.
I just started it earlier. I'm about an hour in, and she's like, here's this video I'm gonna use as like an example of what I'm trying to say. And it's made by this this people who's the same guy that made VeggieTales. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. That's cool beans.
Yeah.
I think I'm done.
Me too.
I think my brain's starting to leak out of my ear holes. Oh, big burp. Sorry about that.
Like we said, this is a two-parter, so we've actually recorded the whole episode, which is like 2 hours, over 2 hours at this point. So
2 hours, 23 minutes, and 56 seconds to be exact.
Whichever one, and then obviously what we cut out or what you cut out.
Yeah, I'll have to do cuts, but we're giving you a peek behind the Iron Curtain here.
Communism.
Yes, I know. I just called it the Iron Curtain.
Communism.
We're giving you a peek behind communism over here. You know, the communism that is our show.
Oh, it just reminded me of the communist meme from Lazy Town. That's like such a now I wish I had that to like put that in.
Yeah,
but it's such a niche reaction. But yes, go on.
Speaking of, that was actually like real quick. That was actually something we talked about as a topic, like going through the different systems of government and like trying to understand them and giving like
as we understand them as people who are not political experts in the slightest.
No, but like in an attempt for us to try to understand them, because like I don't, right? Like I don't, and then giving like our autistic like take on it, like, well, this makes sense to me because of this, or this doesn't make sense to me because of that, or like that wouldn't work or whatever. Like it's literally would just be like it would just be like a stupid like whatever. There'd be no like actual political
like learn along with us, basically.
Yeah, like a learn along with us. It's literally would just be like not us standing for one form of government or the other. It would just be a very simple fact finding mission.
We can call it LaWoo. It's LaWoo. Learn along with us. LaWoo.
Yes, LaWoo. Learn along with us. I like that. Instead of LaWhy. LaWoo. I love it. Okay. We gotta go.
Yep. It's been a long day.
All right. We love you.
Love you. See you next time.
And we will see you
next part.
Next week for part 2 that we did not intend to make. Electric Boogaloo. Bye.
Bye.